Hi, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today I am here to review the mass market edition of the Mystic Palette Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. Marchetti? I'm not sure how to say that, to be honest. Is it Ciro? It's Ciro Marchetti. Wow. I don't know why I don't know how to say that. I feel like I should know how to say that. But anyways, this is the new release from Llewellyn. Thank you to Llewellyn for sending this out to me for purposes of review and so that I can share it with you. So what we're going to do here today before we get into the mass market version of it is we're going to do a little bit of a comparison between the indie deck and the indie book as well, and the mass market deck and the mass market book. Just for anybody who's interested in seeing that, and then we'll get into just reviewing the mass market copy, because I know that there are going to be some people out there like me who picked up the mass market deck and maybe, okay, so story time. Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. What happened was what had happened was I bought this one with this book. It came with this book when it first came out. And I did not, I wasn't feeling the sepia tones, and I wasn't using this one. And I was interested in getting the colored version, and I was going to wait for this one for the mass market. But I was not sure if the cards were going to be big, because if you look at what Llewellyn's decks usually look like, right? This is the Magical Dogs normal Llewellyn size card. They're normally slightly smaller than a normal tarot card, and they are significantly smaller than this indie version of this deck, right? So I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to get this smaller, because I don't know if you've seen the deck before, you know it's very detailed. There's lots going on in the pictures, and I have bad eyes. So I was like, this went on sale on Etsy for $30, $35, I think it was, and I picked it up. I picked it up without the guidebook because they were selling them without the guidebook for for 45, and then it was another $10 off from Etsy, so I picked it up. Now, here's the deal. This deck, if you get it from Llewellyn, is $32.99. And if you ended up getting one of these, like say you got this, or you got this one without the guidebook, and you were curious about picking this one up with the guidebook, because the sepia tone from Llewellyn doesn't come with the guidebook, only the colored version does. But I wanted to show you guys something that's really kind of cool, is that if you were worried about them being too small like I was, they're not, okay? They're actually larger than the indie version. I just wanted to show y'all that right up front. They're larger, and they're thinner. So if this version is too thick for you, they're thinner. This is the normal Llewellyn cardstock and a bigger card. So if you know anything about cardstock, you know that as the cards get larger, they feel thinner, they feel more bendy, right? So if you're thinking about the same cardstock as the dogs, right, or any other smaller Llewellyn deck that you have, but in a bigger card, it does feel thinner. But I don't think it actually is. I think it's just because it's a bigger card. So, but it's the same stock, but much larger. So the pictures are larger, the cards are larger, everything is big. And so I was very excited to see that, because I was really nervous that they were going to come out and be this size. Which is why I picked this up in indie. But now that I have this one, I'm like, I don't know if I even need this one, but we'll see. We'll see. But I'm gonna just shelve it for a collector's item or something. You know, it's a Ciro Marchetti deck. It's my first Ciro Marchetti deck. Actually, this one was my first one. This is my second one. I only have these. I thought people might like to see that up front, because if you're someone like me who, had the indie version, was curious about the mass market, you can see that the cards are large. They're nice and big, and they're actually bigger than the indie version. So it might be worth it to just pick it up so you can have a bigger copy that is, you can beat around with, and you don't have to worry about messing up your indie copy. It comes with the guidebook. The guidebooks are exactly the same. I did take a look. The Llewellyn version is larger, so the print is a little bit larger. But if you look at the layout and stuff, it's the same. I'll just show you really quickly at the star here. Where is it? There's the moon. Here we go. The star. You can see it's pretty much the same. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference in the graphic design, but it's the same. It's the same wording. It's the same there's nothing different as far as the writing goes. I looked it over in several cards. There's nothing different there. The only difference is just the layout and the size of the font. So the size of the font on the Llewellyn deck is larger. So yeah, so if you didn't get this guidebook, if you picked it up, indie, and you didn't actually get the guidebook, this guidebook is exactly the same. All right, so let's get into it. It says, paint a brighter tomorrow with the magic of tarot. Mystical beings unfold the future before your eyes in a breathtaking world of color and light. Renowned tarot artist Ciro Marchetti takes the scenes and symbols of the Rider-Waite Smith to new heights in this transcendent deck filled with dazzling detail and jewel tones that will draw you in and awaken your intuition. Accessible for readers at every level, the full color companion book guides you through each card's intricate symbolism. Setting your imagination free, the Mystic Palette Tarot will inspire you and reveal your inner wisdom. Includes 78 cards and a 120-page guidebook. Comes in a nice, this Llewellyn box. And even though the cards are larger than normal Llewellyn size, significantly larger, the box is the same. The box is the same as all the other decks that I have. Let's get them out the box. You get the little ribbon. That's the bottom. You have a couple of cards here. That's the box. The back of the deck is the same. You've got this fireburst with this compass and then the alchemical symbols. It's the same as the original indie version. There's no edging. The indie version had like a copper edging on it. This one does not have that. But like I said, the cards are so much bigger and so much easier to see. I love this version. So let's take a quick look at the book. Let me just scooch those. So we'll take a quick look at this book really quickly, and then we'll come back and read from it later. But it's in the beginning, you have a table of content. The preface just gives you the logistics of the deck and how it works. I'm gonna break the spine so we can see it. It talks to you about Roman numerals and how to read them. And then of course, because there's no labels on the cards, it just kind of lets you know what the numbers correspond to here. So if you don't know, like if you're not aware off the top of your head that 8 is strength or 6 is the lovers or 20 is, judgment, then it just tells you all about that there. And then it just talks to you about kind of how to use the deck, right? And then the introduction by Ciro is really cool to read because this tells you his inspiration as an artist and where he was going with the deck and sort of he talks about a few of the cards and things that he did that may have stepped outside of the RWS tradition and why. So he talks about the 4 of Cups, the 3 of Coins, the 6 of Swords. It's really nice, that introduction from him. And then the rest of this, of course, is written by Lee Bernstein about the cards and about the artwork, about the meaning of the cards as well as the artwork. And so you get that for all of them. For the major arcana, you get quite a bit as far as what's in the story of the picture and then what this card means. And then you get some keywords. You get an astrology section and a Hebrew letter because each one has a Hebrew letter on them. Let's look at the Fool here. Here's the Hebrew letter hidden in there in the image. So it tells you what that letter is and what it stands for, right? And then as you get into the minors, let me just get back here. So here starts the minor arcana. It talks a little bit about the differences in the suits. It talks about the courts, and it does treat the courts a little bit differently than it does the rest of the pips. It gives you an introduction to the suit. So this is about the wands. And for the 2 through 10, and maybe the courts as well, just 2 through 10, it does give you an astrology section, but no more Hebrew letter because they don't put the Hebrew letters on the minor arcana, only the astrology. So it does tell you, like it'll say here, Mars and Aries, the beginning, Aries, of a tremendous expression of energy, Mars. And so it does give you that for 2 through 10 of all the minors. And then when it gets to the courts, let me just show you the courts real quick. They get a little different. When it comes to the courts, they're all laid out on a page like this together, and you'll have like a picture of them all over here. And it just kind of gives a little paragraph about the picture, a little bit mix of what the energy of the card is, as well as what you see in the image. And there's no extra with the court cards. And note, there's no keywords in the minor arcana section. So if you did want to use the guidebook, you do need to read through it. Another thing that's a little bit different about this book from other Llewellyn books, if you have other decks from Llewellyn, is that there are not large pictures of the cards on each page, which I didn't miss when, because this it's laid out exactly like the indie book. I did not miss that with the indie book, but I don't know, for some reason, because I'm looking at a Llewellyn book, I was like, wait a minute, where are my pictures? But that's okay, because these are pretty big. So I don't need the big pictures. I can actually see it. The reason I like the big pictures is, as someone who has eyesight that is getting, worse, I just like to be able to use those pictures to see the cards. But because these are so big, I didn't find myself needing them. I just wondered where they were. You know what I mean? So it's still a perfectly good guidebook, and it's thinner too. It's smaller, so that's nice. In the back, you get the Mystic Palette spread, and then you get 2 sample readings for that spread. And that's it. And then just some beautiful imagery, and that is the guidebook. And we'll take a closer look at it when we pull a card from the end. Let's take a look at the cards. So as far as artwork changes from the mass market to the indie, I just wanted to show you really quickly the things that caught my eye. Um, this is the indie, and of course, the larger one is the mass market. One of the things that I did notice is that they brightened up a lot of the colors. They made them pop. They changed the contrasts so that they pop a little bit more, and I think they look a little brighter. In that way, that sometimes the colors do change just a little bit. So they made the images larger, and you can see that they stretched them just a little tiny bit, but not enough to distort them. So I think when it felt like it was starting to feel a little distorted, what they did instead was leave the image as it was and then just fill in more along the top. So they did that there, and you can also see that in the Magician, where, he's a little tiny bit bigger, but mostly what they did was just fill in some more brickwork along the top. So there were 2 actual artwork changes that I noticed. This is the full. And this was like this was an actual artwork change. Like, they changed the color of the sky here, and they changed the full card in here. And then they added the fool at the bottom walking towards this is the guy from the world card, which you assume is this fool, but in the indie version you never have any kind of like actual proof of that, and here they actually give you the proof. So I think that was cool how they in the mass market version they kind of brought that full circle and answered that question for most of us. Is this him? I mean, you can assume because of the hat and everything, but you'll see when we get to the world card. So there's that. And then they did stuff like, see how they darkened the sky here so you can see the symbols a little bit better. So that's not on every card, but on some of the cards they did do that. This is the only one that I think I saw where they actually changed the background color. But there are some where they, like I said, just kind of brighten them up, or like the queen here, where they've just brightened her up a little bit so that she pops a little bit more against the background, right? Now, the biggest artwork change, and the only one I noticed as far as like a full card change, was this 2 of Swords. And I noticed this in editing, actually. I was looking through the video that I already made, so I'm doing this like later in the day. And I was like, I don't remember all of this in the 2 of Swords. This was the original one. So I had to pull them out, and I was like, wait a minute now. So then I went through and did a side by side. So I just went through all the cards. So I'm telling you this after looking at all the cards. Those are the only changes that I saw. But this is definitely a change. Now, I looked in the guidebook to see if there was an actual like write-up change, and the write-up has not changed. It still mentions a sword dancer protecting the kingdom, protecting the emperor. So the write-up did not change for this new artwork, but the artwork is definitely different. I'm not sure why they adjusted this. I liked her a lot, actually, but she's pretty too. What caught my eye in the editing was this sunburst, or the sundial reflection on the floor. And I remember thinking, because you had this reflection, but I didn't remember seeing this. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I never noticed this sundial in the indie. And then I thought to myself, no, that's a different card, because like I said, because the sword suit is my favorite suit. So I was like, no, that's different. So this is definitely the only full on artwork change in the deck. So there's that. We're not going to do a full side by side because it's not necessary, but I just wanted to make you aware of that if you were curious. So here's our magician, the beautiful high priestess. She's one of my favorite high priestesses in my collection. I love her in the sepia tone edition. I love her in the colored edition. I love her. And this Empress, similarly, she is also one of my favorite cards. She's actually one of my favorite cards in this whole deck. She's beautiful, and she's gorgeous in this color version. She glows, so I love her. The Emperor, he's cool. All of these cards are cool. And this was my first Ciro Marchetti deck, and I was very excited to have it. This one, it looks like they cleaned it up a little. It looks sharper to me. I remember this always seemed a little fuzzy to my eyes, so it's nice to have that sharpened up. I'm so happy to have gotten the color version because I wasn't feeling that sepia tone one, and I like it so much better in color. And I didn't think I was going to like it in color because I thought it would be too much color, but I think because I'd never had one of his decks before, it just felt a little much. But it's really quite gorgeous. And look at this Hermit card. Oh my gosh, it's so moody, you know, and strong. His choices are very strong, and you can tell that, you know, he really has, I mean, I know he's made a lot of decks, and it's like he's really thought about what the meaning of these cards are and has tried to illustrate them to the best of his ability. All the little nuances of each card, and I enjoy that. He hides the Hebrew symbols in the major arcana, as well as some of the astrological symbols you'll find there. And in the indie version, he hid his the CM, his initials, but I don't see that here in the mass market version. So if that got on your nerves in the indie, it looks like they removed it for the mass market. So that's something to note. Yeah, see, this guy shows up much better. He's hard to see for me in the indie. So yeah, I love these bigger cards. I'm really excited about having a bigger sized deck. The colors on these cards are color coded. In the majors, they're not, but when we get to the minors, you'll see that they are color coded by suit. Judgment, I love this Judgment card. And here's our world, and this is what I was talking about. Here's the guy from the world. He shows up here. There he is, right? In the indie version, you kind of get that's him because of the hat and everything, but you don't actually see him. So here, it's nice that they actually put him in there to just kind of bring it full circle. So I thought that was a nice little change. Beautiful. All right, so we're on to the Ace of Wands. And like I said, the cards are not labeled, so you kind of have to pay attention to, there's the numbers down here. So it's an ace, and the wands are labeled in red. So you know it's a wand because it's red. So we've got the Two of Wands. Also, you can see the wands in the picture. And here's our Three of Wands. The Four of Wands. 5. The Six of Wands. 7 of Wands. She's holding, what is that, Jupiter? I don't know, but I feel like I see them really well here in this one. The 7 of Wands, here's the 8 of Wands. I'm shooting the arrow, and then the 9 of Wands and the 10. Here's our page, our knight, the queen, and her king. You can see them together there. All right, and so then we're off to the cups. The cups are blue in the background, so you'll see them, and they're letters are like a yellowy, like an orangey color, a gold, I guess. So here's a 3, a 4. The duck is holding, or the swan is holding the Cancer. The, the 5, and here's the 6 of cups, the 7 of cups. I love that I can actually almost read the storybook in here. It's wonderful. It looks like an illuminated manuscript, and it's beautiful. The 8. I'm sorry, the 8 of cups. Look at that. The fish and the cups in the water. The 9 of cups. Not my favorite 9 of cups. I never really liked that card. The 10 of cups. But I like this because it reminds me of a place I used to go in the summer. And it gives me Beauty and the Beast vibes, which that town that I used to spend my summers in also gave me Beauty and the Beast vibes. So it's nostalgic for me. And here's our Page of Cups, the Knight, the Queen, and her King. Yeah. And then we're on to the swords, which are bluish in color, and then their letters are also blue, like a slate blue. Here is the 2 of swords. The swords is my favorite suit in this deck. I mean, it's amazing. The 3. Look at him. Another thing I kind of like about this deck is that we get some male representation. We get some representation of people that look a little bit older. So I like that. I don't have a lot of decks that are in this art style that do that, so it's nice. It's nice to have a variety. 6 swords, 7 of swords, very clear. 8 of swords, 9, and our 10. I love this 10 of swords. It's definitely one of my favorites in my collection. Holding the hat there. Here's our Page of Swords. Love her. She's glowing. The Knight of Swords. Love him. Our Queen with her King. And on to the Earth suit, the coin suit. This is green lettering. So we have the Ace. Here's the 2 of coins. 3 of coins. The 4 of coins. This little squirrel is so cute. The 5. 6. 7. 8, the 9, and the 10. I like the masks, and it this older sort of vibe. It feels like, I don't know, 1700s Venice or something. I don't know. I like it. I like the clothes. It actually spans a lot of different time periods, doesn't it? Because these clothes make me think 1700 France, 1700 Venice, something like that. This puts me in, like, I don't know, maybe 1500s or something. So it just feels like a bit of a different time to me. The Knight, and I like the mix. The Queen and her King. And these are the backs again up close. They are not reversible. So these are super bendy. And I bet, even though my hands are small and these are like way too long for me to be able to shuffle normally, I bet I could because they're so bendy, but I'm not going to because it's going to hurt my hand. And why? Why should I? So so I will shuffle them this way. And if you have, like I said, this is standard Llewellyn cardstock. There's nothing different about it from any of the other decks except for it's just a larger card. So I don't have any of their Oracle decks, but I would assume that this is probably the same feel as one of their Oracle decks. If those are on the same cardstock as their tarot decks. So. All right. Shuffle is fine. It's bendy. It's easy to shuffle. If you have bigger hands than me, you could probably shuffle them the other way. Definitely want to with a Llewellyn deck because they're not chord. Shuffle them, turn them around and shuffle them the other way to keep them from getting a bad bow in them, unless you don't care about the bow. Some people prefer a bow in their deck, especially if you're trying to get jumpers, right? So the overhand is nice and silky because they're like that, like it's a gloss, but it's not like it's a gloss. It's a sheen on it. I wouldn't call them super glossy, but they're not matte for sure. Okay, so let's read for the King of Coins and the Seven of Coins. So we'll read so you can get a court card as well as a regular plain old minor. All right, so we're in the coins. All right, so here's what it says for the Seven of Coins. You can read that. You can also see the Eight of Coins there too. Seven of Coins. In the Ace of Coins, we discuss the coin as a seed planted by a gardener. In the seven, the gardener can rest from her labors. Her tree has grown fruit. She communes with an oriole who has alighted on a single coin she has picked from the tree. Surrounding her tree are well-tended flowers, gardening pots, and a sleepy house cat. The meaning of this card is straightforward. Well-laid plans bear fruit. Investments bear dividends. Hard work pays off. A calm, contemplative mood suffuses the image. The woman has created a peaceable kingdom, at least for now. No birds are being chased by cats. Astrology, Saturn in Taurus. Patience and self-discipline, Saturn, results in material enjoyment, Taurus. Okay, and you can see the Taurus and the Saturn there. And now for the King. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah. King of Coins. The King of Coins reacts by taking care of business. Like the Knight, he is not afraid of hard and painstaking work, but the King also has the breadth of vision to be able to manage a larger enterprise, not just what's in front of him. Long exercise as a manager makes him a good person to consult for advice, but his viewpoint may be limited to practical matters. He may have a hard time comprehending emotional or spiritual dilemmas. And I like the way that this guidebook kind of goes through all of the different ones and how they kind of work together to make a court. So that's that. Oh, sorry. My microphone died, so I've been playing with the cards while I wait for them to charge. Waited for it to charge back up. Shall we do some pairings? I think we should. 4 decks here, 2 of which I have used with this deck before, the colored version, and I know I like it. I know I like them, but we'll have to see what you think. I like the way they look anyway. And then 2 that I want to try to just see. So this is the Dragon Riders Oracle by Christine Fodder. This is a new deck in my collection that I got in for review not too long ago. I do have a full walkthrough of it. If you want to see it, I'll link it in the cards for you right up there. And yeah, it's a deck that kind of feels, let me zoom you in. It's a deck that feels kind of like it's supposed to be a message from a higher realm, right? It puts me in the mind of my angel decks when it comes to the messages, although the messages on this one can be a little sharper, but it's dragons. And for me, I prefer to use an angel deck for this kind of work. But if you don't like angels and you want a deck like that and you like dragons, maybe this one might be for you. I haven't been using it that much just because, like I said, it's not working for me. But when I was using it, I did try these together and I love the way they look. I thought that was a beautiful aesthetic because it's got a fiery nature to it, but then it also has some dragons in here that look a little icy, like this one. Oh, look at that. It popped right up for me. A little watery. And so it kind of, the colors, the style, the feel of it kind of matches the stack. They feel like they live in the same world, it seems like to me. So I like those together. All right, let's try. I wanted to show you one more. One more. Yeah. So I have one other deck that I want to show. Oracle of the Mythic Heroes. By Lateo Wong. I really like this one. I got this one in for review too, and I will also link this in the cards up there for you if you want to see my full review. I really liked this one when it came in. It does have an astrological um, vein woven through it. So for each decan, you've got a mythic hero, a human mythic hero, and their life and lessons that goes along with the card. So I like this deck a lot. I've been using it, and since I've been using it, I have played with it with this one, and I like the way they look, and I also like the way they read together. So I enjoyed this one. The other one, of course, I like the look of. I thought it was more of a seamless look, but and this is, you can kind of tell that this one is. It's not quite as seamless, and I like this. So you've got the six and the seven of wands with the knight of wands and hubris. Okay, definitely Icarus here. Got the king of coins with the hierophant and adventure. You've got the ace of swords with the seven of cups and reflection with Medusa. One more. We have the tower with the emperor and sexuality. Uh-oh. Somebody's doing something I got no business. All right, so let's try the other two. The other two are two I haven't actually used before, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they'll work. Let's give them a shot. This one is the Moonology Messages Oracle, the newest one by Yasmin Boland. I haven't been using this deck much. I think I've used it once or twice, and then it went into my summer spring box, and it's back out again now. And I'm curious to see how I guess I've been using it with reversals. Hang on, let me fix this. Okay, we're back. Crisis averted. All right, so I wanted to see how these were going to look because I feel like they have a similar color palette. Their artwork is very different, but because the color palette is so similar, and they both feel a little bit dreamy, a little bit celestial. And the Mystic Palette Tarot does have that sort of layer of astrology woven in there, in the guidebook as well as on the cards. I think that these could possibly be a good match. So, what do you guys think? We've got the Ace of Cups with self regulation and the Six of Swords. Like this little bull here getting the rainbow. um, okay, we've got the star. Wait, 19. The sun, that's the sun. The sun with the Six of Cups and embrace uncertainty. So we have a sun and then a sun. There's a sun and a moon in this picture. Interesting. I like the way they look. I do. I think that the Oracle deck kind of brings some stillness to the look of what's on my table here. So I've got the Five of Swords with the Four of Swords and celebration. I don't know about that. But I do like I said, I like the colors. Look. Take a breath with the Three of Swords and the Empress with Moonstruck. So we've got the Nine of Wands with the Eight of Swords and process your feelings with Howl at the Moon. Yeah, I kind of like this, to be honest. I'd like to get the guidebook out for the Oracle deck and kind of see where this could take me. Let me see. We've got the Magician with Courage and the Page of Swords. Getting a lot of swords here. Did I forget to shuffle? The Knight of Swords with the Knight of Cups. And did I change that? No, I didn't. Take the lead. Yeah. All right. So you'll let me know what you think of this. I kind of like this. It feels calm, it feels inviting, and it feels curious. So I like this one. Let's try the other ones. The last one I wanted to try, this is the Messenger and the Secret Oracle mixed together here. I have them mixed. So I don't know which cards will pop up because I put them together. I never took them back apart. So, and I just keep them in there and I just split them up and put them in the separate boxes. But let's just take a look. I feel like these Oracle decks also have sort of this sort of fiery kind of other, I don't know, just kind of like it's almost like a dream world, but also a natural world. It's like a mix kind of energy. They feel like they live in the same world to me. So let's see. Eight of Cups with the Four of Cups and Be of Service. So the first thing I can see when I'm looking at this is I don't love the size difference here, and I think that's going to be a problem that I'm going to see a lot with the tarot because it's so big. So that's something I'm probably going to have to get over. but I do feel like they have a similar vibe, and I think we can use them together. So we've got the Ten of Cups with the Key to Wisdom and the Queen of Coins. Now we have Judgment with a choice to make, and this is the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I like this. Chariot, unorthodox approach with the Queen of Cups. Look at the Queen of Cups with this octopus. I feel like I said, they live in the same world. So once I get over the size difference of these, I'm gonna like this. Ooh, this is a very different look to the card, right? But let's see. So we've got the Five of Wands. Yeah, Wands. I almost thought this was the Five of Swords because I saw this sharp axe here, but I have to remember that the color of the letters or the numbers here or which are letters really, are associated with the suit. So the red is for wands and the green is for is for coins. So we've got the Five of Wands and the Four of Coins with Be Neutral. All right. Seven of Coins with the Queen of Fire, and Have Faith. Very nice. And the last one, Nine of Swords with the Three of Cups. Oh, the Nine of Swords with the Three of Cups, and Open Your Mind. Oh, wow. All right. Well, I kind of like this, so I'm going to try it and we'll see. So let me know what you like the best in the comments below. That's all I have. That's all I have. I hope it was helpful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I release videos every few days regarding tarot and oracle, and I would love to have you. I will put in the description box below all kinds of things. If you have time, check it out. I do have a lot of things down there about how to support the channel. I'll put the links for these decks and things like that down there, where you can find me on Instagram. There's all kinds of information down there. So if you have time, check it out. And until I see you guys next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye-bye.